Hello everyone. The game I've got set up here is Kiev 41. Actually not actually set up, but already played. That is the first scenario. Les Preludes, or Le Prélude, I suppose, in correct French. The Germans actually got, that is the Axis, they actually got pretty close to winning because they almost took Odessa, which is one of the possible victory conditions for them. They had two strong units in there, which they moved in there with a strategic move, and that's when you're allowed to battle without activating any headquarters. But unfortunately, they didn't quite manage to take it, although they got pretty close, as you can see. What they also did is, let me just go to the other side of the board. They do have all their HQs exhausted. What they're trying to do in the beginning is spare Kleist a little bit, as well as their Luftwaffe headquarters, which meant, I have found out that it's not a good idea to activate all your headquarters each and every single turn, because before you know it, you'll be out of activations, really, normal ones, that is, without spending the initiative disc, which is what you do if you go for a strategic impulse. Anyway, I'm not going to explain all the rules to you now, which I might do some other time, I suppose, but yeah, they got pretty close. They could have resolved this fight, but actually they want to cut off these units, which is something they would be able to do if the game continued now, although probably the Russians would be able to reclaim these. They actually have one of their commanders now who would be able to activate a couple of units, so he will probably be able to prevent that, or he would be if the game actually continued. I played it twice now, that is recently, today. I played it many more times in the past when the game was first released, at least a couple of times, don't remember how often, a couple of times, especially this opening scenario, and it's very tough on the Germans. But you do better each time you play it, and it had been such a long time since I last played this game that I didn't quite remember, so I made lots of the same mistakes I did when I first got the game, which really is not the way to win as the Axis. It's much more challenging than Leningrad 41 and Moscow 41 for the Germans, especially in the beginning, because the Russians are very strong here in the south, and it really takes clever maneuvering, clever activating of your headquarters, etc. And yeah, that's what makes it really difficult. And I got close, also made a couple of mistakes as the Russians by retreating too early, which behind the river here. I guess you have to make the Germans activate their units here too, to engage yours, and you will lose those units, but as long as they don't surrender, it's really not that bad, because you'll get them back sooner or later anyway. Even if they do surrender, it's not the end of the world, but you want those Germans to activate as many units as possible, and not, just for them to be able to move and right away engage you here. Being close to Odessa already, Kiev is another option for them to take. But then you really need to get lucky a little bit with Guderian. You just roll dice equal to his current strength, and in the beginning, you roll 4 dice when he's at full strength, and you need to, if you're lucky, you get 2 or 3 hits if you're really lucky, and then you can actually make a 2 Nishin, I believe it's called, and that will cut off the supply from the north, which potentially allows you to encircle a couple of units here, but without that it's practically impossible. So that is really quite luck based, I have to admit. He got to within 1 space of that now, but it was actually too late. But yeah, very enjoyable game. I think I will try it again tomorrow or so, and see if I can really win as the Axis. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.